Hey. Today I want to talk about why people place their limiting beliefs on you and how you can break free from that. My name is Janville and welcome back to our channel. Here we talk about life, how to live intentionally full every day, and I want to serve you with conversation, with experiences, personal experiences, and just my own wisdom and things that I've learned throughout this personal development journey. And I want to share 5 ways in which I believe that reasons why people place their limiting beliefs on you to give you some understanding. Maybe you're in this situation. I most definitely have been throughout my life in many circumstances. But I believe that this, as I like to talk about the F-bombs, this really stems from family. I think the safest place that we first are given is our family environment, hopefully in a healthy, in a ideal world. But if it wasn't, and we know that we just accept what's our childhood was and our upbringing, but as adults we can make the most and the best of our future and our current present moment. So I want to talk about the areas. Number 1 is projection. Projection happens when I believe parents or guardians or whoever it may be, they just have not been able to live up to their own personal goals that they've set for themselves. Their own, aspirations. They may have had some dreams as a child that they weren't able to live up to. And oftentimes I speak with women, and especially young women in college or things, and like, I don't know why I'm in this major. I remember a young lady talked about this major she was in, engineering. And I was like, why are you there? She said, my mom wanted me to be an engineer. And we talked about it, and I understood, because it's very common. Some people, I know a young lady whose mom didn't even graduate high school, but she pushed her to go to college. And what I try to do with these young women, because I understand, because I've been on the journey, I didn't always think this way, but it can become frustrating because people are placing, that's called projection, we've heard of that. But people place things on you because they couldn't attain them. It's not most of the time I would say from a bad place. We don't want to look at this in a negative light, but from their love that they have for themselves, which is limited, clearly. And then they give that same love to you. So I do want to encourage you to look at things from a love space. You are love, be love, and give love. Don't always think of, people as trying to hurt you or harm you, or they don't know what they're talking about, although it feels that way. But find healthier ways to look at situations because people do have different perspectives. So projection, although we do know projection from a very unhealthy space, but what I want to speak to is what I believe happens from our childhood. For me, I shared is very limited, and projection was placed on me in a very religious, strict way. And I just believe that was the lack of, and it's very evident now in my life and in my family, the lack of discipline or the lack of behaviors or patterns that they could not control themselves. So therefore they wanted to let me control you because I'm fearful of what may happen if I don't. And I really believe that people, again, they give you the same love that they give themselves. That's why I am so big on self-love. Going deep, not wide, going deep. Don't focus on the out here. Go deep. So externally, you will experience true love. And I'm not talking about only intimacy. Relationships is the things that make us well. From our job to our friendships, from the people we meet on the street, from the people at the cash register at the store. These people that we interact with every day, they impact our lives. And most importantly, we impact theirs. So we are responsible for who we are, and we don't want to project anything from within from an unhealthy space, okay? So projection, I believe, is one space why people place their limiting beliefs, and look at it from, let me focus on me so that I'm not in a space of projecting. Truly live out your dreams and goals and aspiration in the season that you're in. And don't try to place that on your children, on your friends, on your partners, on your lovers, or whoever, your spouse. If we focus on ourselves and we truly are on the journey and we go deep and work on ourselves and continue, we don't feel the need to put people in places like peer pressure that kids do. We don't feel that need because we're healthy, okay? The next space I would think about, I would say social conditioning. Social conditioning is just what it is. It's our environments. It's our cultures. It's these spaces that just say, oh, this is normal. These are universal truths, and they're just simply not. Social conditioning, unfortunately, is a space in which people place limiting beliefs on other people because they believe this is the way that it is. And I just want to remind you and tell you today, it's not. You have complete control over your present and your future. And I can share these things because, again, if I go to the F-bombs, especially when I talk about my fitness journey, people talk about it's in your genes. No, it's not in the genes. I'm going to get into these genes today. And I mean that, like, seriously. I replaced the word jeans with Jeans. I did for a very long time because I'm like, I don't care what they talking about out here. I'm getting into these jeans. And that's how I am. I mean, I just choose some creative ways to kind of fireproof my brain, whatever works for you. But I'm telling you, social conditioning is real. It will keep us stuck. It will keep us in familiar places, unable to grow. And you don't want that for yourself. So when people, again, I want to help you understand how people think. There's great books out there. I've read a couple. I really like The Laws of Human Nature. It helped me understand people because I'm a person, I don't want to get into that. I love interaction. And I think we all, if we're honest, we like people. We should. We're born that way. You know, that's capital. Human relationships are capital in our life. Networking, all that thing, that's relationships. However, when we're honest, we have to start with our foundation. So the conditionings that's being placed on us, we have to break free of that. Conditions should nourish us, should help us grow, not keep us bound, not keep us tight. Think about conditioning, what it does to our hair. Conditioning, when people say they're conditioning, you know, in athletes, they're preparing for something. They're not getting stuck. So social conditioning, keeping us stuck, it should be a space to grow, to be healthy, to learn some new perspectives and new things. So our environments play a major part of that. So social conditioning is another way. And the third thing I would say is fear of change. Fear of change. Some people and most people, you know, I believe we operate in fear or love. That's just my truth. And I've operated in both. You know, I don't think they can, I don't know. There's debates and conversations around, can they both exist? I don't know. But I'll say this, fear will keep you stuck. You know, I believe you can move forward in the presence of fear. There's times I'll say nervous, very nervous, but fear protects us. It keeps us safe. And it's, you know, a dog or something's coming at us, or we're in the wild and something's charging us. That's a natural inclination that's given to us. But I'm talking about fear of not growing, fear of doing something that's unfamiliar, fear of moving, fear of getting into a relationship, maybe because your parents never were married. I know people like that. Like, I don't want to get married, or I don't want to get in a relationship. I don't know what love, but I do want to be. You can't be fearful of love and then say, I want to get married. They don't go together. Love is marriage. Marriage is love. And in order to experience that space, if that's what you truly desire, we have to just really think about what we're thinking. So fear of change, everything that we do requires change if it's something healthy. So we don't want to put ourselves, so when people are placing their limiting beliefs on you, oftentimes because they've never changed, so they don't think you can change. And I want to tell you today, you can. Change is inevitable. I believe that, like growth. Now, what I mean by that, we all change, whether it's good or bad, like healthy or unhealthy. Change, healthy behaviors lead to change, unhealthy behaviors lead to change. What do you want out of life? You can have it. So fear of change is the third one. The fourth one that I want to talk about is, I would say, jealousy and insecurities. This is another reason people place their limiting beliefs on us. And people don't want to talk about that jealousy, and jealousy, it's in the Bible, you know, it talks about it. The truth is, we all have experienced, and to me, jealousy is just it's a feeling. You know, like, well, you start questioning things. You might feel like you need to compare somebody, but people can place their beliefs on you because they're jealous of your own potential. They're jealous of where you could go. And it is very unfortunate we have to talk and think like this in our family. But that's, to me, I believe it starts there first. Because what happens, you're coming from environments where people were in the same position as you. You had the same starting point. And if they see you as ahead, you may not even be thinking that way. You're just truly being yourself, truly trying to grow, truly trying to change. If they see you as competition, they may start seeing inadequacies within themselves, while you may be encouraging them and trying to, again, this journey is so personal. Do not get caught up in other people's issues, their insecurities, their jealousies. And it can extend into, I've seen it big time with friendships. Don't. You just stay true to who you are. And I mean that from a place of love. Because if we don't, we start getting entangled in these places and spaces, and it becomes chaotic. You start losing who you are. And it's not healthy. It's not good for your soul. And we're here. We're all about wholeness and wellness. And so how do you navigate that? You have to cultivate good relationships early. I truly believe that. I say start with friendships. I think it's very clear for me. It was very easy for me and my family dynamics. And it wasn't in my immediate family. I don't think my dad was jealous of me or my mom as a child. I just think their things that they needed from me is because that's what they really thought from religious spaces in their background. They were both teenage parents, got married early. They wanted different. And they thought to replace that with put them in a church environment and make it very religious or strict. And I get it. That's what they thought. But when I talk about jealousy, and I'll say this from a safe space, but it's the truth. And there was somebody in my family who was extremely jealous. I'm talking this woman is 60 plus. And I shared with the family member, I said, she's jealous of you. It's clear. And I just kind of shared the things because it was just time for me to tell. And about 2-3 years later, it became very obvious she was jealous. Everybody saw it. I didn't speak on it. Well, I did. I talked to her and I said, hey, do you remember she said, yeah. And we just talked about it. But and I don't say these things from mean. I mean, there's years I saw the jealousy. I've seen jealousy in families. It's easy to see. It's hard for people to want to be honest about it, but it's there. Jealousy when people making certain comments. They always want to talk about, well, you think you this or that. Unfortunately, I've experienced that with family, and I'm talking about older women, and it's very sad. It hurts, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to water myself down, nor am I about to try to help you grow, and then I'm breaking myself, because what you start doing is like picking yourself apart, and we're not going to do that. So in our family, in our community, we have to do better. What happens is we need to accomplish something. You need to love yourself more. Self-love is the cure for this thing, y'all. I'm telling you. When you love yourself, then you don't feel the need to fight other people. You don't feel the need to compare yourself to other people because you truly are happy with where you are. Happiness is a gift that you can give yourself every day by choosing an F-bomb, going to the gym, working out, eat healthy, choose healthy relationships. If you don't like the relationship you're in, maybe you need to get out of it because then you're angry at other people. And being in healthy relationships can be a space where people just become bitter. I've seen that too. Do not become bitter in a relationship and then you're out here spewing that on everybody else. Healthy relationships are a great space for us to grow. I believe they're dynamic and they really help us. But being stuck in places that's causing you to become bitter and then bringing that out to your community, your family, we don't do that. And so I'm speaking to a place, why do people place limitation and their limited beliefs on people? Because they don't believe in things because they haven't achieved them themselves. And I'm talking about across the board, from health to relationships to financial wellness, mental thought processes, self-talk. So that's why I'm very dedicated to this journey because I've seen it in my family. There's a lot of things I don't talk about because I don't want to step on anyone's toes, as people may say, but I'm not going to water myself down, nor am I going to clip my wings in order to walk when I was born to fly. I'm just not going to do that. And I don't want you to do that. And I know there's a lot of, especially young women, I've talked to older women, struggle with the family dynamic. It is challenging, but it must be done. So the last place is misunderstanding. I believe people place their limiting beliefs on us oftentimes because there's just simply a misunderstanding in the goal, in the dream, in the conversation. And so learning and how to have healthier communication, which is something that's is intentional. It's a practice. Maybe ask, well, what did you mean here? What did you think? Or what were you really saying? Like just finding some prompts or some things I would say infuse more understanding because we feel sometimes that people are saying something. It's really just a misunderstanding. And sometimes we just need to have the conversation. And as I say, sometimes the hard conversation. And sometimes these conversations do lead to growth for both people. Most of the time it is. We don't, we're never failing. We're always learning. This truly is a continual process. I hope this conversation helped you. Again, people place limiting beliefs on us for many reasons. Don't get caught up and feel like I'm about to write down these 5 things and let me figure out which one they're talking about. The focus is not them, it's you. Because even all the while, I've experienced all of these things. And while experiencing them, I didn't focus on that person. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. We didn't have some conversations or things didn't happen. But what I'm telling you to have this conversation with you today is because I've been very intentional, blinders on. I've always been focused on me, the man in the mirror. I really have the one man in the mirror, the womb, birthing new things, birthing ideas. I'm in the classroom with my students for years. I'm not focusing on the teachers next door. I'm not focusing on what's going on in my house. I'm focusing on should I be doing in this moment with these students. If I'm in a relationship, if I'm mothering, if I've been being a wife, I was a wife for many years. And in those areas, I tried to be the best of who I could be with what I know. With the tools that we have, with the knowledge that we know, the key is to be the best that we can be. The slogan from the be all that you can be in the place that you're in. It truly is It's true. So I hope this helped you. Let's continue to move forward so that we can be a healthy individual, build healthy families, and thriving communities. I'll see you next Sunday.